Hello YouTubers, I'm Mr. Digital 45 and I know I haven't done a video in a while, so I decided I'm going to do this top 50 of my favorite 80s movies, but I couldn't pick 50. I had to put 52, so it's going to be a top 52 because I just couldn't make up my mind on the last three movies I wanted to put into this thing. So I have to make up my mind right now and figure out which one of these. I know basically my favorite ones that I watched all the time, but we're gonna throw Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger as 52 because I just couldn't. I used to watch this a lot too on a video machine because a lot of these came out late 80s and they became more favorites and I watched a lot more, but this one came out in 85 I believe, so and this is around the time I got my own VCR because I was like 15, and then I started having my own collection of VHS tapes, which half of them I don't have anymore because of a fire. But like I said, let's start off. This is number 52 before I start ranting and raving. This is number 52. It's Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Alright, this next movie I going to throw in the Smokey and the Bandit. I know this is the Pursuit pack. This has all first three, the original three Smokey and the Bandit movies with Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, and Sally Field, and Dom DeLuise is in one of them, and the late great Jackie Gleason. So we're going to count this as number 51 because I couldn't make up my mind. This is another one I couldn't make up my mind because I used to watch a lot. I used to love it. And let me see here. What is next to this? What is number 50? What would be number 50? I would have to say it is High Noon with Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly. I really love this Western. It is in my top 10, at least of movie wise, that I like, favorite movies. I appreciate it more now that I'm older. When I was younger, I liked Westerns. It was really good. It kept me interested. This got me to watch older. When I first saw this got me to watch older movies and appreciate the original films as much, because a lot of them are really good. So I start. This is number 50. It's High Noon, Grace Kelly, and Gary Cooper. All right. Now with that out of the way, I think we're gonna go with. At number 49, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I know it's the Bee Gees and it's Peter Frampton, but they're doing Beatles songs, and I love the Beatles music. So when I saw this, I just loved it because they had all the songs and played those songs. Steve Martin is in this. You got Alice Cooper is in this. At the end, they got a whole bunch of artists at the end of the movie in that one little scene that weren't in the movie, but they were at the end. So, yeah, you got Alice Cooper, you got Aerosmith in this movie doing Come Together. It's really good. To me, it's good. So at 49, we're going with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. At 48, we're gonna go with this is just one of the James Bond movies I used to watch all the time. I used to watch them all. But we're just gonna throw the Dr. No in here. It's representing all the James Bond movies. So, that being the first, I just throw that one in. So here we go. At number 48 is the James Bond franchise. Not just Dr. No. It's all of them, but I just picked out this one, the show what I was talking about. So, what did I say? At 48, it is Dr. No. Alright, because these are real hard decisions for me. Because I watched a lot of these movies, a lot. And I think we're going to go with, that was 48. Number 47, we're going to go with John Cusack and, well, hold off. Let's go with Casey Siemaszko and 3 O'Clock High first. This will be number 47. This was about a guy was told he'd go beat up by a bully at 3 o'clock. And all through the movie, he's trying to get people to pay to take him out. It's a really, really good movie. Classic 80s teen comedy. So I suggest if you can find this one, you watch it. It's very, very good. This is 3 O'Clock High at number 47. Now, we'll throw in Better Off Dead with John Cusack at number 46. This is one of my favorite John Cusack movies, but I go with Grosse Pointe Blank and The Grifters just over this one. But I also like One Crazy Summer, but that one didn't make the list either. But I couldn't make another honorable mention. That would be too long. So we got 46. We got Better Off Dead. Okay, at number 45. What will number 45 be? Very hard to make a decision on these because I love them all almost equally. But we're going to go with the classic comedy Airplane at number 45. What can I say about this movie? It's just great. It's just great. I have another one of the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrams movies in my list. It'll be coming up here shortly. But at number 45, we're going to go with Airplane. Alright. A lot of people's mind, they're going to ask me why I'm going to put this movie here at 44. It's because I can, but also I love The Karate Kid. I love Cobra Kai, the show. But this is going to be number 44. I watched the movie a lot, but not as much as some of the others. So remember, this is a video about the movies I watched the most in the 80s when I was a kid. So, because some of the ones, like I said, come out later in the 80s, but I watched them a lot more than I watched this one. So, that's why this is at 44. Alright, we're moving on down the line. At number 43, we're going to have Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. This is my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie. I like it more than Psycho, but when I was younger, I think I've seen Psycho more than I have because it was on TV and I had the VHS. This one was harder to find. I seen it on TV. Whenever it was on TV, I watched it when I first saw it. So, give props out when Turner Classic Movies came around back in the, I think it was in the 80s or 90s. I don't know. I watched it more in the 90s, I think, later, once it came to Turner Classic Movies, whenever they came out, then I watched it more. But, yep, at 43, we're going to go with Vertigo by Alfred Hitchcock, James Stewart, and Kim Novak. Alright, like I said, these are very hard picks for me to put these in order because I love them all. Well, that was a 43. Okay, at number 42, like I said, it's coming up shortly, is Kentucky Fried Movie. Directed by John Landis. A couple of his movies are on here. I think I have 2 other ones that will be popping up in this collection, in this video. But before because this is also the Zucker brothers who did Airplane. This is with them producing and acting in it, and John Landis directing it. It's Kentucky Fried Movie. It's a bunch of skits, and it's hilarious as hell. I don't know if they could get away with making this movie nowadays, but back in the day, they got away with it, and it was great. So at number 42 or 43? 42. Kentucky Fried Movie, because this is this. 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. Yep, it's 42. Boy, it's going to be a long video, people, I can already tell, because I have a hard time making up my mind on these movies, but I love them pretty good. Alright, the next one I would say in my list is going to be, I watched a lot when I was a kid, in the 80s, basically. 10, 16. Alright. Something important came up there for a minute, so that's why I stopped filming there for a second. But right now we're going to number 41, and it's the Cannonball Run, an all-star cast. We got Burt Reynolds, we got Farrah Fawcett, we got Dom DeLuise, we got Roger Moore, we got Dean Martin, and we got Sammy Davis Jr. and Jamie Farr, and we got tons of others that are in this movie. I used to love to watch the car chases in this and the wrecks. It was great, and so I suggest you pick this up and watch this if you want. Part 2 is okay. It's more so the same basically, but it's a little more silly than this one. This one's the best one though. Part 1. Alright, well, moving on. That was number 41. And see what will be number 40. And I think it's going to be Howard the Duck. I know what people say about this. It's not the greatest movie of all time, but it's got a cult following now. And Marvel's kind of reintroduced Howard in a couple movies. Well, James Gunn did, because he put him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and so he has had little bit parts in them Guardians of the Galaxy movies. A more better looking version than back then, but you remember back then they didn't have CGI like they do now. But I loved it when I was a kid, and I used to watch it a lot when I was in my teens, when I first started getting really into watching movies. So at number 40, we're going to go with Howard the Duck. Okay, at number 39, I'm going to go with Grease. If you notice, some of these are VHS tapes. I just didn't feel like, when I was finding them to do this video, I just grabbed what I had seen, where they were easier to grab from. So, because that room is a mess until I get it straightened out, kind of. So that's just why I picked it. I just grabbed the VHS copy because I had a VHS copy, and it's Grease. It's gonna be number 39, the late great Olivia Newton-John, and then we have John Travolta, and you know the others who is in it. So number 39, it's Grease. This starts getting harder as we go down the line. Here, I'm gonna have to go with Conan the Barbarian at number 38. This represents both this one and Destroyer, Conan the Destroyer, because I like them both equally. I just love the campiness, and even though the first one's more serious than the second one's more campy, but I like camp, and that's why I'm gonna say this represents both of them. I watched both of them a lot when I was younger, and so at number, what did I say? This was number 38. Yep. Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer. Alright, like I said, this starts getting harder as we go down the line because I like a lot of these movies a lot. I like them almost the same, but there's got to be a list. We're going to go with, at number 37, I guess I'm going to go with, Animal House. I'm going to go with Animal House. This is another one of them movies I watched a lot. I had a VHS copy of it when I was a kid. It's like one of the first ones I had when I was younger. Also movies. I think my first two movies I rented from a video store and had or got was Halloween and Mad Max, and this is another one of the original ones I got too, eventually. But I see them all. So going at number, oh god, I getting old, 37. We got Animal House. At number 36, we're gonna go with jeez, this is hard. Like I said, it's very hard. I'm going to go with Time Bandits, the Terry Gilliam movie about a bunch of midgets that time travel, stole a map or something, how to time travel, and they tried to steal from very time periods. It's a very, very good movie. If you like that kind of stuff, it's good. It's one of my all-time favorites. So at number 36, we're gonna go with Time Bandits. I'm probably gonna break this video down into 2 parts because it's gonna be a long one if I don't. Alright, the next one at 35. So hard to pick. I guess we're gonna go with Terror Train at number 35 with Jamie Lee Curtis and Ben Johnson and David Copperfield, of all people, in this movie. A horror film where it all happens on a train. If you don't get it from the title, I can't really tell you much about it because if I did, it might give it away. And so I will not tell you about it. You just have to go and check it out for yourself. At number 35, we got Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. At number 34, this is getting hard. We're gonna go with we'll go with Willow at number 34. Val Kilmer, Warwick Davis, Joanne Wally Kilmer, but she only goes by Joanne Wally in this, I think. She wasn't Kilmer yet. She wasn't married. I think this is the movie they met on and got married. I don't think they're together anymore, but this is the movie they met on. This is from 87, I think, 86, 87. And this is another one I used to watch a lot once it came out. So at number 34, we got Willow. Now, granted, these ain't in order how I like them. This is going by how many times I watched them, and I watch these a lot. So at number 33, we'll go with Stand By Me, the Rob Reiner classic. We got Will Wheaton, we got River Phoenix, we got Corey Feldman, we got Jerry O'Connell, and we also got Kiefer Sutherland in this movie, and John Cusack in a really small part. Alright, based on a Stephen King novel called The Body, I believe. This is a great movie. So at 33, we got Stand By Me. Alright. Next up, I think we're going to have to go with whoa. At 32, we're going to go with American Graffiti with Ron Howard and Cindy Williams. This, if you like old time original rock and roll music, old time cruising up and down the boulevard kind of movies to take you back, this, well, it won't take us back because, you know, that was before my time. I was born in 70. So this is set in 62. So it's before my time, but I love it. I love the music. And for you people that are older that like my channel, this is a movie that I suggest you watch. If you probably already have, but I suggest you get it in your collection. It's American Graffiti. Directed by George Lucas himself, director of Star Wars. This is the movie that gave him the money so he could finance one of the greatest movies of all time, which I will tell you about later if you don't already know. But at 32, we got American Graffiti. At 31, we got Fred Ward and Time Rider. This is a great movie. He's in the middle of a BMX dirt bike race across the desert. Then he accidentally comes across a scientific experiment and accidentally rides into the past. Is sent in the back to the old west. And that's all I'm going to tell you about the movie. I suggest you find it and you watch this movie. It's great. And this is I don't know if I remember how I got this movie, but or what company this is, but it's a great movie. Time Rider with Fred Ward. Okay. At number 30, we're going with Tourist Trap. Chuck Connors is he's something else in this movie. That's just all I gotta say. And you get a young Tanya Roberts in this movie. Released through Full Moon Entertainment, though. This Blu-ray is released through Full Moon Entertainment. It's great. It's a Charles Band production, or he directed. I can't remember who directed this movie, but it's great. I can't see without my glasses on right now. Oh, stretching out. At number 30, we got Tourist Trap. Uncut. This is the uncut version. Whew. We're getting down there. We'll go with see. We're gonna go with Eating Raoul at 29. Did it? No. Yep. We'll go with Eating Raoul at 29. Very, very good movie. Paul Bartel, Mary Warrenoff. Couple is suffering. They need money to get their own restaurant started. So they start hanging out in swinger clubs, and I can't really tell you more, or I'll give away the basis for the movie. So all I know, they go around and they start to hang out in the swingers club and try to rob them, I should say. So you'll find out when you watch it. So at 29, it's going to be Eating Raoul. At 28, we're going to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator. This one represents this one and part 2, but part 2 came out in the 90s, so I can't really... So I seen this a lot before the other one came out. So this is why this is at number 28. It's the original Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because it came out in 84. So like I said, at 28 we got The Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton. And the list is starting to dwindle down, and I gotta start making up my mind, because we're getting to the movies I watched a lot when I was a kid. The real ones I watched over and over and over and over and over again. Alright. At 27, we're gonna go with the original King Kong movie from 1933. Fay Wray, Bruce Cabot, Robert Armstrong. RKO release, and for the time, the stop motion. This is where we got. This is what inspired Ray Harryhausen, one of the greatest stop motion special effect artists in the history of film. He was inspired by this film. I forget who did the stop motion in this one from way back when, off the top of my brain. But at what number did I say we were at? 37. King Kong. No, wait a minute. 27 is King Kong. I don't want to go backwards. Alright, next up, I gotta say, this movie, it'll be at 26. It's Young Guns, with Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, Dermot Mulroney, and Casey Siemaszko. If you like stories about Billy the Kid and stuff, this is a movie for you, and I suggest you watch it. It's great. I got this 4K version. This came out about a year ago. I suggest you pick that version up if you have a 4K player. I think I have the VHS tape too. I think I found it. If not, no, yeah, I got the VHS tape of Young Guns. I'm looking for part 2 on VHS. I think I would have to go look again. Can't remember. I got one of the 2 movies, but this represents both 1 and 2, of course, of the Young Guns series, but this one being my favorite. Alright, that was 26. At 25, these are hard decisions for me. At 25, we're going to go with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. One of my favorite films when I was even younger, because it was on TV. You know, it's one of them movies they showed a lot on TV. And it's a classic. That's all I can say about that. Gene Wilder is the perfect Willy Wonka. So at number 25, we got... Is it 25? Huh. No, it's 24. I'm sorry. 25 was Young Guns. I'm getting my... And then at 23, we got The Wizard of Oz. The first movie in color. And when people saw it in color, they were amazed. Because everything before that had been in black and white. So at number 24 we got, or 23 we got The Wizard of Oz. I am sorry, I was way off. I think that was number 24 was The Wizard of Oz. I just recounted to make sure. Whoops, my bag. Alright, we can continue here. At number 23 now is Tron with Jeff Bridges. I really like this movie. It was hard to find once it came out, and it was so expensive for a long time out of print, but I finally got it, as you can see. I know they have a Blu-ray of this. I haven't got that one yet. I haven't found it for a decent price. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put a 4K out of this eventually, so I'll probably wait for the 4K when it does come out. But right now at 23, it's the great Tron, where Jeff Bridges gets zapped into his own video game he made, and he's got to find a way to get out of the world. He has a number of characters in the video game based on his friends. It's good. It's a good movie. If you're all into the video gaming system. All right. I'm a little tired. At number 23 was Tron. Alright, what is going to be number 22? Like I said, they start getting harder as I go along. I think we're going to make The Wild Angels with Peter Fonda and Nancy Sinatra and Bruce Stern at number 22. This is another one of them movies. My dad had the soundtrack to this on record album, and after he died, my mom just gave me the record, and I used to listen to the record all the time. And then finally I saw the movie, got to see the movie. It was on TV one day, and I just watched it, and then I fell in love with it, and this started my this is one of the movies that started my B movie exception. Loving B movies. Roger Corman, I should say, eventually, because he's the one that directed this movie. So this is the one that got me into one of the movies that got me into B movies besides the horror films. All right, so at number 22 we have The Wild Angels with Peter Fonda. Oh, my. At 21, we have to go with Mark Singer and The Beastmaster. another one of them sword, like Conan the Barbarian, another one of them fantasy films that when I was a kid I loved them. And I used to watch them a lot. And this one is very hard to find on DVD. I know they just put out one of them specialty things, just put out a 4K of this or a Blu-ray of this. But you know, it's high price, so right now I'm good with this because I have it. That's all it counts to me. I get them when they come down in price, or I find them somewhere thrifting. They're cheaper. So at 21 we have The Beast Master. Alright. Oh, that was also directed by the guy who directed the movie Phantasm. If you didn't know. He did that after Phantasm, of course, because that was 82 for that one, and Phantasm was 79, I believe. Okay, next up we have another Roger Corman classic, and this one is called Battle Beyond the Stars. It's an all-star cast. It has Richard Thomas from the Waltons as the main character. We also have George Peppard in this movie, and Robert Vaughn's in this movie, and I can't think of some of the other girls right off my head. People in this movie. But it's a New World, one of his New World pictures. It's great sci-fi classic where these band of so-called space heroes come together to fight against an evil from taking over a planet. Great movie. It's kind of like the Magnificent Seven in space, basically. Alright, number 20, we got Battle Beyond the Stars. So the slow but surely slow countdown is beginning. Better get down to the nitty gritty here. Okay, so at number 19, I have to go with Gremlins. Yep, number 19 is going to be Gremlins. The Joe Dante classic. Remember the rules. Don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight. And don't keep them out of the sunlight. That is the 3 main rules from keeping them from turning into that. Well, the sunlight part would kill them. But other than that, I don't have to give no explanation about this movie because I believe most everybody out there have seen this movie. If you haven't, where you been? That's all I gotta say. Alright, that's 19. And number 18, we'll go with Beetlejuice. Yes, I've seen the new one. It's really good, but it ain't compared to the first one. Like everything else, the first one's always the best. And this, we're talking about 80s movies, and this came out in 88. And when it came out, yes, it's one of them ones where I watched a tons of. I used to watch movies every day. It was no regular TV. It was all movies. Now I watch a lot more of the shows from when I was younger, missed out on, and watch a lot of TV. I still watch my movies, but I don't watch them as much as I used to watch them. So at number 18, that was Beetlejuice. The number 17. Which one did we put in number 17? I guess we're gonna go with the King Kong remake with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange at 17. This is the first King Kong movie I saw. because it was 76. I was 6, 7 years old when I first saw it. So, understandably why I saw this first. And I love it. I really do love it. A lot of people prefer the original. I like the original. It's the best. But I really like this remake. I know a lot of people don't. They say it's too long, but it's good. No CGI days. None. This is before CGI, and the effects were good for what it is. And I like Jessica Lange back in them days. She was like one of my favorite actresses at the time. So, at number 17, we got King Kong, the remake, 1976. Oh my God, my knees. This is where it starts getting really hard for me to pick. I guess number 16, we're going to go with Humanoids from the Deep, another Roger Corman classic. This is about some fish that got turned into some giant monsters, and they love women. That's all I'm going to say about that. You have to watch it to believe it. And this is number 16 is Humanoids from the Deep, Roger Corman. If you like Roger Corman, this is another one to go check out of his. Alright, moving on. This is where it gets hard for me. At number 15, we're going to go with Ghostbusters, the original classic. It's another one when it came out in 84 that I've seen a lot. I saw it in the theater. I remember it was old McKinley Theater, I believe, when I saw that. This has got a rather great quotes in this, and I enjoy it very much. So at number 15 we have Ghostbusters. Like I said, they start getting harder as we go. At number 14, some people might be mad at me for putting this at number 14, but I'm going to go with Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Movie that kind of make you not want to take a shower when it came out. Janet Leigh, Anthony Perkins, Vera Miles. Very, very good movies. So at number 14 we have Psycho. Alright, our next movie, I keep checking them, but according to this I have 14 movies left over here. So that means this has got to be number 14. I'm not sure. I might be off. Who knows? I might. But we're going to just say it's 14 and it's Batman from Tim Burton. Michael Keaton, 89. That's why it qualifies, because it came out in 89. So this is a great, great movie. I don't have to say much about it. You know what it's about. It's about Batman. So number 14 is Batman. God, it's so hard to pick. You guys are gonna be all mad at me. Okay, at number 13, we're going to go with The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I have to throw it in here. I really love this movie. It's about an alien that invades bodies, it can shapeshift, and it's in the Arctic, and they're trying to survive, basically. Great, great movie. Okay, at number 12, remember, this is not a movie, this is not a list of movies how I like the movie, this is how much I watched them. So, what did I say this was? 12? 12 is going to be A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, it kind of scared me when I was younger. So, the first one did. The other ones became more campy as they went along. So, I have to agree. I probably watched some of the other ones more than I did this one, but I watched this a lot, though. This is the series, basically. That's why I put it in there. But, yeah, at number 12, we're going to go with Nightmare on Elm Street. The great Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp. Alright, so at number 11, we'll go with The Howling, one of the greatest werewolf movies of all time to me. There's one that's right above it, and it is in my top 10. So, when it comes up, you'll see. Oh. D. Wallace Stonestown as a reporter who gets too involved with a thing and almost dies at the beginning of the movie, so she decided to take her and her husband started to take a retreat up in the mountains, which somehow turns into a weekend of nightmares. The Howling at number 11. Alright, we're hit the top 10 now. And this top 10 is gonna be a little weird. So, at number 10, coming in at number 10 is the Back to the Future series. Basically the first one. I seen the first one a crap load, and I love it. What can you say about Back to the Future? Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. At number 10, Back to the Future. Okay, this is where it really gets hard. Make up my mind, which I think I'm gonna have to go with Escape from New York is number 9. What I watched the most. Going back, thinking back about then. Kurt Russell, one of his greatest characters that everybody loves, Nick Plissken. So at number 9 is John Carpenter's Escape from New York. And it was set in 97 of all times, huh? Alright. Number 8. I'm going to have to go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre at number 8. The Tobe Hooper classic with Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface. People think this movie is gory as hell, but it's not really gory. There's no really showing of blood. I think it's just that in their head to make you think they saw what they saw. Like they say. So from 1974, at number 8, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Alright. We're getting dwindling. At number 7, we got An American Werewolf in London. And this is my favorite werewolf movie of all time. I love The Wolfman with Lon Chaney is up there. So is The Howling, like I said. The Howling and this one are my top 2, and then The Wolfman with Lon Chaney. But this is my number 7 favorite movie I used to watch when I was a kid. This movie is one of the movies I can almost quote line by line. Okay, American Werewolf in London is number 7. Number 6, we're gonna go with I know a lot of people's gonna be mad it's not on the top. It's Halloween 2. Not Halloween, Halloween 2. It represents all the Halloweens, really. The first 3 Halloween movies that were released during the 80s, I believe. But this is the second one that took place in the hospital is the one I watched more than I did the original one. And the third one, because the third one didn't have nothing to do with Michael Myers. I thought it was cool on its own. For a while, I didn't remember it was Halloween 3 until they said it was Halloween 3. Alright. Like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, Halloween 2 was my number 6 movie I used to watch all the time. At number 5, we have Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I know it represents the first 4. It really represents the first 4, but out of all of them, Star Trek II was the one I watched all the time. Another one of them ones where I can almost quote every line in the movie. So at number 5, we have Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner. Believe it or not, this is going to be number 4, and it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm just showing the box set. This represents all 3 of the Raiders. They all came out in the 80s, I believe, before they did the other 2 sequels later down the road. But the first Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorites of all time, and I have to rank it at number 4 because there was 3 other movies that you're about to see that I watched more than I did Raiders of the Lost Ark. And at number 3, it's Friday the 13th Part 3. And of all the Friday the 13th movies, this is the one where Jason got his mask, and this is the one I watched tons of time. I saw it in 3D back in the day. I actually went to the theater with somebody that was old enough to take me in, because I think I was only 13 at the time when it came out. But when it came out on home video and on the movie channel with Joe Bob Briggs, when he did all them horror films and B movies, and so like I said, it's Friday the 13th Part 3. It represents all the Friday the 13th, the first 4 at least, because I watched them a crap load when they were originally out. But this is the one I watch more than any of the other Friday the 13th. That's why it's at number 3. And we're at the last 2 movies. And at number 2, it's Roger Corman classic, Rock and Roll High School. This is the best comedy. If you like music and you like comedy, this is the movie for you. Especially if you're from this era, grew up in this era. It's got the Ramones music in it. It's got other great songs in it. And I just can't say enough about this movie. It's great. It's one of my all-time favorites. It is in my top 10. But right now, my brain, I couldn't tell you where it's at in my top 10, but it is in my top 10 movies of all time for me. That's Rock and Roll High School at number 2. Gabba Gabba Hey. That's all I gotta say about that. And if anybody knows me that is subscribed to my channel, they would also know this is my favorite movie of all time, and it is the movie I've watched at least over 1,000 times. I mean, I've seen it a lot. And I never get bored with it. And it's Star Wars, A New Hope. Or just Star Wars, like it was called back in the day, from 1977. No ifs, ands, or buts. Hands down, my favorite movie of all time. My most watched movie of all time. It's always going to be number 1. Always beating out my favorite horror franchise, Friday the 13th. It always will. It's number 1 in my heart now. I appreciate you all watching. And I will do a recount before I sign off here. So I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to do a recount to make sure I did 52 movies. Like I said, I couldn't make up my mind for 50. Because there might be an extra 1 or 2 in there that I didn't think about when I did it. Because I got confused there a couple times. So I'm going to tell you exactly how many movies we went through in just one moment. Alright, YouTubers. I just recounted my thing. And it was 52. I just messed up in somewhere in between all of that. So the last 14 were correct. And I was wrong about a couple of the other ones in between. So we got it right. It's 52 movies. I recounted them. Make sure. Hey, don't forget to give that thumbs up. I appreciate you all watching and subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you all. This might be 2 videos. It might be 1. I don't know. It depends on how long the movie is. If it's too long, if it's over an hour, then I will edit it out and make it a 2-parter. But if not, like I said, don't forget to give that thumbs up. I appreciate you all watching. Please subscribe to my videos channel. I appreciate you all. The ones who do love my channel and love movies more than you like my travel videos, but that's okay. I'm still gonna do the travel videos once in a blue moon when I go someplace that's not here where I'm from. I'm trying to get out to the Hartfield Flea Market to check out more VHS tapes because it's $5 for $1. And if I can find some more cool ones, I want to add them to my collection. So, until next time, in my next thrift video, or a top 10, or whatever I decide to do, see ya.